News to start off with as well. Chihuahua's health department announced today a 29-year-old man is the first confirmed case of the coronavirus in the state. The man arrived in Juarez on March 12th and quarantined. Officials said he traveled from Europe via Los Angeles. The patient is now reported to be recovering at home under quarantine. 8 others have tested negative, but already, and the results of the 3 more virus tests are pending, according to Chihuahua's health department. And just about an hour ago, Governor Greg Abbott hosted a teleconference with hospital leaders across the state of Texas. The governor says Texas has 64 positive cases in 19 counties. The first death from COVID-19, killing a man in his 90s. More than 1,200 Texans have been tested, and that number will continue to grow as an additional 15,000 test kits are going to be brought into the state from FEMA. By the end of the week, the governor expects Texas will be able to test about 10,000 people per week as facilities continue to expand their testing. The governor is also activating the Texas National Guard to help assist in the crisis. Now, none will be deployed just yet, but they will be standing by in case of an emergency situation. And the White House is proposing a roughly $850 billion emergency stimulus package to address the economic cost of the new coronavirus. The request will be outlined to Senate Republicans a little later today and will aim to provide relief for small businesses, the airline industry, and include a massive tax cut for wage earners. And amid fears of the coronavirus, there's been a steep drop-off in U.S. air travel over the past 2 weeks. Amid fears of the coronavirus, we've seen overall in the past 2 weeks, 5.2 million fewer people have passed through airport security checkpoints, and that's according to data from the Transportation Security Agency. The agency also said an 8th passenger screening officer has been confirmed to have COVID-19. The officer is based at the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport and worked Tuesday morning. All right, let's take a live look at the situation worldwide. We have our interactive map from Johns Hopkins University. Now, more than 190,000 people have been diagnosed with COVID-19. That's almost half of them, though, the good news, recovered. But we still have a long way to go. Total deaths right now, 7,500. Let's click on the United States here. You'll notice now over 5,000 cases coming in as we try to hit the U.S. again here. Well, another update, 9,000, another additional couple thousand there. Looks like the map not wanting to go on to the United States, but according to this number, 5,700 cases there. Looks like it's trying to go to another country. But we'll continue to monitor this for you here, and you can see it yourself. Head over to our website, go to kvia.com/coronavirus. Nicole, and new at noon, there are 2 new cases of the COVID-19 virus in New Mexico, and that brings the statewide total now to 23. Now, here's a look at the most recent cases in New Mexico. A man in Taos County in his 50s and a man in Santa Fe County in his 40s. There are now 14 cases in Bernalillo County, 2 cases at Sandoval, 4 in Santa Fe, 2 in Socorro, and 1 in Taos. The governor reminds all New Mexicans who detect symptoms of the virus, which include a fever, a cough, and shortness of breath, to call that state hotline. It's 855-600-3453. And a man who tested positive for the virus died in Texas. We mentioned it at the top of the show. It is the first reported death from the coronavirus in the state. Now, it happened in Matagorda County, which is about 80 miles southwest of Houston. Officials say the man was in his 90s. He died in the hospital and lived in that county. This tragedy serves as a reminder the elderly are still the greatest at risk, especially if they have underlying health conditions, which is normal for people of his age. And now the health conditions can be weaker immune systems and long-term or chronic illnesses like heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and cancer. Now, the World Health Organization looked at the demographics and found that people who are 80 or older have a 15% chance of dying if they do come down with the virus. And a 3rd person has tested positive for the coronavirus in El Paso. Let's break down what ABC7 knows about this case. Now, city officials say this time it's a woman in her late teens who had traveled overseas. She is recovering at home. UTEP identified her as a student. She tested positive yesterday, and the university says she returned to El Paso on Saturday from her trip and then directly went into self-isolation as directed by UTEP officials. Now, the university says she has not been back on campus. The first and second cases were both men in their 40s, and officials say one traveled to California and the other one's travel history is still under investigation. One is at home under self-quarantine, and the other is hospitalized. City officials say they are trying to identify people who might have been exposed to all of these people to test them. Cole, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott says the number of Texans testing positive for the coronavirus is likely to dramatically rise as the state's testing capacity ramps up, and that number of cases of community spread also increases. Now, Abbott says his updated emergency declaration now prohibits public gatherings of more than 50 people. The governor also says by the end of the week, testing for coronavirus is expected to ramp up to 10,000 tests a week. So far, there are at least 60 confirmed cases, according to the governor's last report in the Lone Star State. The governor also said those who are not showing symptoms will not be tested, though public health officials have warned infected people without symptoms can spread that virus. Cole, and now new at noon, Tom Brady says he will not re-sign with the New England Patriots. The NFL rejoicing, unless you're a Pats fan. The departure ends one of the most successful partnerships in sports. On his social media account, he wrote, quote, "I don't know what my football future holds, but it is time for me to open a new stage." He also thanked the team's supporters. Brady has spent his entire 19-year NFL career with the Patriots. Seems longer than that, and that includes winning 6 Super Bowls. If it wasn't for the Giants, he'd have 8. He becomes an unrestricted free agent when free agency opens up. That is tomorrow. The 42-year-old has repeatedly said in recent years he wants to play until at least the age of 45. It's okay. I guess we can hang outside 6 feet apart, right, guys?
Yeah,
you know?
Get some fresh air.
You know, a little bit of sunshine will be good for all of us after the week we've had. But again, it's going to be a little chilly for my taste, Nicole.
I agree, but we'll slowly warm up. I mean, it'll be spring by Thursday.
That's true.
We're waiting for it. Hey, we'll see you all tomorrow. Stay safe.